Well, hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. And as you can see, we are back in the workshop again, but today we're not going to be working on the GL1000. I'm still got to make a video on this. The reason it's taken me a little while to get around to it is because I bought another bike, and it's not here in the workshop. It's outside undercover. So let's go and see what it is. Well, as you can see, let's call this an alcohol fueled purchase, shall we? This was lurking in the depths of Facebook Marketplace, and it'd been there for 12 months, believe it or not. And I kept messaging the guy, and I just got no response. He wasn't even reading my messages, and I kept trying. The advert said it had been up for 12 months. I've been trying to contact him for 4 months, and around about Christmas I'd pretty much given up, to be honest. But I thought, well, I'll give it one more try, and I messaged him, and I woke up in the morning and lo and behold, he'd managed to read my message. Don't know why that one and not the others, but ultimately he saw it, apologised profusely and said, yep, still for sale, come and take a look at it, see what you think. And I made him an offer, and here it is. So this is a Honda VF1000 FE 1985. I think they only made them for a couple of years, then they changed the styling. The later one was called a Bold Ore, full fairing. They also modified these slightly. I think they called them the FF. And the fairing area, the plastic area here was all different. I prefer this shape. I thought this was more sporty, to be perfect honest, the ones that first came out. So keen-eyed amongst you will notice that it says Interceptor down the side. The American model ones were called Interceptor. In the UK and Europe, they weren't badged as Interceptor. They were just badged as VF1000F. And they didn't have 1000 on the seat either, and it just said VF1000F there. This one has basically had a repaint. This is actually a genuine UK first registration bike, of which there weren't that many, but this has had a repaint, not a good repaint if I'm honest, and they obviously decided to do it in the American colours for whatever reason rather than the UK. When I say it's not got a particularly good paint job, what I mean is you can see here this doesn't match. This tail fairing is the lacquer's all coming off it. Looking at the receipts I've got with it, I've got a lot of receipts with it, this was changed at some point. So I think this is original, and this and the tank and the fairing is all resprayed. But you know, at the end of the day, it's what, £1,000 for a paint job from Dream Machine in the UK. Well, I say £1,000, I mean £1,000's £1,000, it's a lot of money, but you know, this bike was a steal. I should really have had a mask on my head and carrying a pistol, I think, because you know, yeah, I just couldn't believe the price I got this thing for. I'm not going to say how much it was, but I can put £1,000 paint job on it, stick it back on Marketplace, and still make a reasonable profit on this without any problem whatsoever. So yeah, that's why I was desperate to get my hands on it if I could, because of the price it was at. I assumed, to be honest, that as it had been on eBay for so long, there was something seriously wrong with it. Sorry, on Facebook for so long, people had been looking at it, deciding that it wasn't worth it, and moving on. But yeah, so I know looking at under these lights, it doesn't necessarily need a respray, but trust me, when you get up to it and you have a look at things like this down here, This is where the paint's coming off because it's had an ethanol fuel in it, it's leaked. This is all coming off, so that all needs redoing. There's chips in the side panel, and nothing major, to be fair. You know, polish that up a bit, and you know, I'll be honest, I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do with this yet. I think certainly for this summer, bearing in mind at the moment I'm doing the Goldwing, I think I'm just going to get this roadworthy and I'm going to ride it. I promised myself I wasn't going to buy another large bike, apart from, well, when I say a large bike, I mean a large sports bike. Obviously I bought the Goldwing, but I had a scratch, as they say. I needed to itch it, and this came along. This was around about the same sort of time as the GPZ 900Rs. I've had a couple of 900Rs, phenomenal bikes, absolutely love them. But deep down, I'm probably a bit of a Honda fanboy. Hadn't had one of these, not had a V4 before either, so I thought, right, time to try one out. I have had a cheeky go down the road and back on it, and frankly, it goes like the clappers. Yeah, it's proper quick. Handling's quirky because of the 16-inch front wheel. They did change that, I think, later on to a 17, but I'm used to that sort of handling on the GPZ 900R anyway, so I'm not too worried about that. It sounds great. Mechanically, I think it's all sound. I've got a load of receipts from a garage near where I bought it from, and they've done a lot of work. It's got new chain, new sprockets, new rear shock. The front fork's been completely rebuilt, new brake pads front and rear. Now he says he's put different discs on, I mean the original disc, but maybe he meant new to him. But having been out and ridden it, the only problem I can find with it at the moment is it's got a really, really bad judder under braking, and the brake lever really pulses backwards and forwards when you're braking. So I need to investigate that. Surprised at that, because I say they apparently have been rebuilt, but I guess maybe the discs are warped. I need to borrow a DTI gauge off a friend, and we'll have a look at those. Now again, the keen-eyed, if you know these bikes, will notice that these exhausts should be gloss black. They're well, black chrome actually, like the GPZ 900R. There was a phase in that, around that sort of early 80s time, when all these exhausts were black chromed. Very difficult to get that done now, and very expensive if you can get it done. These ones, from what I can tell, have had all the black chrome removed, and then they've had an attempt at polishing them. To be fair, it's not bad, and I reckon with a bit more work they're going to look alright. And they don't look odd like that really, because the collector box underneath is just matte black anyway. So yeah, I think I might just leave those. So they're not too bad. There's a very small amount of road rash just on that one, but nothing major. So they're nice and solid, and I say, yeah, I think a little bit of work, and they'll come up really nice. So I'm probably going to leave those. Like I say, the intention at the moment is get it through an MOT. There's no MOT on this in the UK. We have to have a Ministry of Transport test. This will be exempt from that in a few years' time, but not right at the moment. So clearly, whoever was working on it was trying to get it ready for the MOT with all the new parts that have been put on. Brand new front tyre, a decent tyre on the back. The back has got an Avon Azzaro. I've never heard of an Azzaro. Don't know where that's come from. Avon Azzaro. It's a new one on me. Someone else did it say on it. There you go. AL. What's that say? Oh no, AV46. ST, don't know, it's a new one on me, that one. I've not come across those before, but tread itself is absolutely fine. I think I noticed the tyre was from 2012, I think, so it's getting cracking on a bit, to be honest. So I'd probably want to replace that at some point, but certainly for this summer it looks perfectly good. There's no cracks or anything. It's got decent tread on it. Front one is what is this one? This is a laser, Metzeler Lasertech, this one. Again, not a tyre I'm particularly familiar with, but this one is literally brand new. You know, you can see all the points and stuff on it where it's not even rubbed off. Even right on the actual tread bit there, all the nubs are still there. New fork seals. So I've been out on it. Radiators seem fine. The only other thing I have noticed, so if we come up on here on the dials, we'll switch it on, and I've got a light here which goes out in a second. That's correct. That's the tail light to tell the tail light's working. We've got oil. We've got neutral. This switch says HW on it. Don't know if you can hear that. Let me show you a bit from down there. I don't think you can see it, to be honest. No, you won't see it. But what it's doing is it's putting the fans on manually for the radiator. Same with the GPZ 900R. A lot of people put manual switches on, just because these things used to run quite hot, particularly sat in traffic. So all the lights work, all the gauges work from what I can tell. The only thing I've noticed is the neutral light doesn't go out when I'm in second gear. It goes out when I'm in third, fourth, fifth or first, but when I shift from first into second, the neutral light stays on. So that'll need some investigation. But I say I've been up and down the road on it. Apart from the shaky front end, or rather the warped discs, I'm guessing that's what it is, but I need to measure those, and that neutral light, I'll be honest, that's pretty much the only thing I can find wrong with this. So yeah, I'm going to get it through an MOT, and you can expect to see it on the road this spring. I'll ride it during the summer, and then what I'll do is, assuming it rides okay, I'll make a call on whether this should then be the next restoration or whether I just keep this one going as it is. I'm tempted just to keep it going as it is, if I'm perfectly honest at the moment. But the fact that things like the you know, the frame has been hand painted in place and things like that might get the better of me at some point. I'll just have to strip it down. But yeah, at the moment, not going to happen because I'm doing the Goldwing, and I know you guys want to see me carry on with that, which of course is exactly what I'm going to do, because I want that on the road as well this summer. So right, so I'm going to go and fetch a DTI dial test indicator, and then we'll see if we can get some kind of jack or something underneath this belly pan, whether I've got to take that off first. We'll get the front jacked up, and then we'll see what we've got. Okay, hoping you'll be able to see this. Right, I've borrowed a DTI dial test gauge excuse me, off a friend. It's quite a crude setup I've had to do here, but I've basically tie wrapped it onto the fork leg. I have got a magnetic base for it, but these are alloy, won't stay on there, so I had to tie wrap it on. But anyway, so gauge is set up, and I've set it to 0. And the idea is, as I turn the wheel, we'll see whether this disc is warped or not, because the dial will fluctuate and move. So let's see how we go. So bearing in mind that this disc has got grooves in it, so at some point that is going to drop down into the groove, so we need to ignore that. Anyway, we're starting on 0, and we're going to do 1 full revolution of the wheel. I can see that the when we were back there, when it was on 0, the air valve is at the top of the top of the wheel. So we're going to go with that. Let's see what we've got. Okay, so that's definite run out on there. That blip was just where it went into the groove on the disc. Okay, so that's reading a 10. Going back towards 0. Again, another blip because it went in the hole in the disc, slot in the disc. Back up again. So now we've done almost half a revolution of the wheel. Another blip as we went into the groove. And now we're heading right the way up to 20 on the dial. So our total run out then, if we go back to get the air valve at the top, which is there. So our total run out on this disc appears to be 20 increments on the DTI. And I think, I'm not familiar with this DTI because I've borrowed it, but I think looking at it, it says each graduation, so every small little line on there is 0.01 of a millimetre by the looks of it. Yeah, so okay, we'll work that out later. Let's just worry about what the range is at the moment. So at the moment, as we can see on this one, yeah, we're going all the way to 20,000 there, and then all the way back to 0. So I don't know whether that's intolerance. I'm thinking it's probably not. It might be, I suppose, that the disc itself is just sat on some dirt where it mounts onto the wheel. But if that's the case, it's probably warped it anyway. So whatever, I think we're probably going to need to take this off and take a closer look. I'm going to set this up and we'll measure the other side. Okay, similar setup on the left disc. We've zeroed, well, as close as damn it, zeroed the gauge. Let's have a look what we get on this one. Where's the valve at the minute? I can't really see the valve. Where has it gone? Oh, okay, it's a quarter of the way around the other side, so I know where that is. Let's have a go with this one. Right, so we've immediately gone 20 clicks out there, near enough 25 clicks. Coming back 20. Coming back. Yeah, I'm guessing that was where we were. Let's check where the valve's gone. Yeah, okay, so that one is 25 clicks out basically. So it's a bit hit and miss this because I've just got it tie wrapped on, but you get the idea. It's, you know, yeah, that's good. 20 clicks out, 25 clicks out, that is. Right, okay. I need to dig the manual out and see what's going on. What we do know from a physical point of view is the lever is properly pulsing as I'm braking, and the bike is juddering on the front under braking. So I thought he said he changed these discs, but I could be wrong about that. I need to have a look at what some of the receipts that I've got. Right, back into the workshop and we'll take it from there. Right, just got back from a ride, having stripped down, taken the wheel out, took the discs off, cleaned all the backs of them up where they mount, put them all back together, check the calipers were all put back together properly, because I know the pads have been changed, they're absolutely fine, and then haven't done anything else to the disc. All I've done is rebuilt the wheel, put the wheel back into the forks, and then the manual has a very specific way of doing things, putting this back in. So basically you put this caliper, you don't tighten these clamp bolts up, you leave them loose. You put the left caliper on and torque that up first, then you tighten the clamp bolts at the bottom, the front one first and the rear one last. So I've torqued those down to what they're supposed to be, and then on the other side where you've got the track anti-dive, you tighten up, torque this bolt first, then this one, and then I don't know if I can show you this, but I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but between the caliper, so basically between the caliper mounting bracket and the disc, you slide a feeler gauge in between the two, and you should have a 0.7mm gap between the two. Can I show you that down there? So look. No, I'm a bit shade from that side, can I? No, I just can't get you in there, unfortunately. You have to take my word for it, but basically what you're doing is you're putting a feeler gauge between that and the disc, and you're looking for 0.7, at least 0.7 of a millimetre on this side. If it's not, you then move this fork leg in or out slightly until it is, and then you do these clamp bolts up. Front one first, rear one second. So, followed that, did it all, put it all back together, took it out for a run. Basically exactly the same. Lever is, pulsing like a good one, unfortunately. So that leads me to believe, so the other thing I did was I did check the discs for run out, as you saw earlier. They were 0.2 of a mil and 0.25 of a millimetre on the other side. The manual says that the service limit is 0.3 millimetres run out. So in theory, they are within spec. But this isn't just a question of contamination on the disc, and sometimes it's breaking on part of the surface well, and then when it gets to the bit that's got contamination on it, stops breaking, it stops gripping so well. The lever itself is pulsing. So having taken all the rest of the wheel apart, put it all back together, made sure I've set it back out of the factory suggest, that has to lead me to believe that it's the discs that need replacing, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to source some more of those. I don't think I can get them new. Hopefully I can get some decent second-hand ones, but obviously I'm going to risk having the same issue with the run out. Anyway, moving on from that, basically what I'm trying to do is get this ready for the MOT, and a couple of other things that weren't working. The horn wasn't working, hence the reason I've taken the fairing off. Fairing on these is surprisingly easy to get off. It's 2 screws and that's it. There's a screw in there, there's one the other side, and then the whole fairing just pulls off the front, and the back of it is held in place here on the tank. So there's no actual fastenings there. It is literally just those 2 screws, one there and one the other side, and then the whole thing just pulls off in one go. So at least that's nice and easy to get off. The horn is tucked up in this recess here above the headlight. I've taken it off and I've basically thrown it in my ultrasonic bath at the moment, which will either kill or cure it. It clicks when you press the button, but that's all it does. So in the ultrasonic cleaner it's gone. I'll give that 30 minutes and we'll see if that works. But they're cheap as chips if I need to get a new one of those. It's not like it's a posh looking horn that's on the edge of the frame of the bike or something, you can't even see it, it's tucked up there out the way. So I'm not too worried about that. The other issue I've got is that the high beam on this bike, let's turn the ignition on. Wait, okay, that's the tail light going out too, the tail light's working. The high beam on this bike has got a pass switch there, so you can see that working. But then to put it on and leave it on, it's this button here, and it's meant to go in and stay in so the high beam comes on, but it's not, it's just popping straight back out. Sometimes if I get it just right, it will stay in, but more often than not it won't. I can't get it to do it now. So I'm going to take this apart and have a look at that. So that may literally just be worn out. I can't imagine it is. After, you know, you don't use high beam that often, do you? So maybe a good, oh there you go, it's, see, that's stayed on now. But now, no, it won't come off. So, which is even more annoying. So now it's stuck in. So anyway, obviously this needs to come apart. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for this video. Turn the ignition off. Oh, the other thing I've meant to mention was the, it's not in that side. Well, you can't see because the cover's on, but I've noticed the battery is the wrong battery, so I've ordered a new one. So it was working with that battery. I've charged it up, so I've been out for a run. It's all right, but best to have the right battery. The amp hour power in this was just not enough for this bike, so you know, all these things help to improve the running at the end of the day. Anyway, so that's it for this video. Hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, and I will see you in the next one.